Welcome to today's show. My name is Mariana Dalto, and our guest today is Carl White. Carl has been in healthcare marketing world for most of his working life. Today, he owns and runs his business called Marketvisory Group. It's a healthcare marketing agency. Before he started his business, which has been 8 years, I believe,
Yeah.
he worked at Hollister and Baxter in marketing as well. And he also grew up with a family that has its own business, is a pharmacy business. Is that right, Carl?
Yes. An
Yeah.
independent pharmacy when those things still existed. Yes.
Nice. Okay. And his mission is to help private practice owners stay private. So we're going to really talk about that mission because it's super interesting and I would love to explore more about that. But welcome, Carl, to the show.
Thanks so much for having me. It's good to be
Yeah, I'm
here.
excited. Thank you. Okay, so I always like to start the show to kind of get some sort of background about you and also what inspired you to start your market advisory group, after your very long corporate career in healthcare as well.
I think maybe that question answers itself as soon as you said very long corporate career. For me, corporate America just ran its course. I learned a lot. But sitting in it, the feeling just sort of comes along very slowly. What I learned looking back is that what I really like to do is go out in the marketplace and fight competition and try to convince customers or doctors or whoever that, hey, you should consider our service, our product. I really think it's good for you. To me, that's simple. There's one chessboard. I'm on one side, my competition's on the other, or my company, whatever. And to me, that's just conceptually easy. The rest of corporate America, for those who can relate to this, is where, to me at least, all the complexity reigns. There's all the agendas and all the climbing and all the everything. And there's 1,000 chessboards inside the company, and they're all intertwined, and everybody's always moving. And if I never use the word alignment again, I'm a happy camper, and on and on and on and on. And so, it just hit me one day. That's it. And I spent a couple of years planning, okay, now what am I going to do? And I knew I wanted to stay in marketing and healthcare. I really, really like it, passionate about it. Um, and I just took my time to figure out what model, what types of customers. And I landed on this 8 something years ago, pre-COVID, survived the pandemic. Here I am. Here we
Good
are.
job with that.
Yeah. Take the win, take the win. Didn't know
I
what, who knew what to expect? I was expecting every customer to say, got to take a pause, but none of them did. They all stayed. What was interesting though is that nobody started. So everybody got froze wherever they were, in whatever state of being they were. Nobody started marketing, at least with us. None of our customers stopped.
Mhm.
Um, and they all had, the common theme was the same. I'm frozen. They just talked it up. I can't stop. My customers would say, well, we can't stop our online presence because of this. And any prospective client would say, I just can't imagine starting anything right now. So they were just all frozen. Um, but yeah, so here we are today.
And how your family pharmacy business impacted your career going into corporate? Like, is
I
that
don't know. Yeah, I've had one job in my working life that was not somewhere in the world of marketing and healthcare, and that was in educational publishing. I sold college textbooks and I worked on college textbooks. Those things get sold. There's a whole army of, at least at the time, there was. I didn't know any of that. I just like to be around education. But healthcare, yeah, my father was a pharmacist. He owned a pharmacy. I worked in it as a teenager. I didn't think about anything long term. He asked me one day after college, do you want to come into the business? And I said, I didn't even let him finish the sentence. No, mostly because I didn't want to. This was in the town I grew up in upstate New York. I wanted to get out of that town. Maybe it would have been different. I don't know, but I didn't even let him finish. Nope, I'm out. And so, but that was why. I don't know why. I mean, you know, you can market anything. But what I like about it is that what I liked when I was in corporate, I mean, our products and services were good. And it's just nice to know that for as hard as you work on making these products and services good, that patients at the other end of all that are better off because they're using your products and services. I like that. I don't get any passion about marketing, consumer packaged goods or other types of services. They just don't do it for me. For me, it's healthcare. And so when I said enough of corporate America, I knew I wanted to stay, in this world. So now helping private practices stay private, what that means is that I just believe that care is better when the doctor, the dentist, the whoever is also the owner of the practice, because then any decision that's getting made on behalf of that practice is being made by the same people who have to take care of patients. So it just, I believe, therefore, that patient care is never far from top of mind in any decision that's got to get made. They get to a degree, they get to say how they're going to take care of patients. Insurance has its own sort of constrictions on that, but nevertheless, they get more freedom. And between growing up in a small business and let's keep the providers in care of charge of everything else, that's how I landed where with Marketvisory Group, with that mission in this way.
And I'm sure that was also driven part of like because your family had this pharmacy, private
Yeah, it
practice,
all
so
ties
it's all
together.
together, right? Like
It
you
took
grew
me
up
like
that
6 or 7 years to like form the wording to say it the way I said it now. But yeah, it all definitely all ties together. Small business is really important, really important. And any chance I can, I will support a small business alternative to whatever it is, household stuff, whatever it is. Any chance I can that's reasonable, I will.
you understand, yeah.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
how do you think that your family's pharmacy shape your view of customer relationship and trust in general, right? Because that's how you build your
I
business.
have I have two memories. Yeah. So one was, so my father, the pharmacy when I was really young, it was open until 9 o'clock Monday through Friday, 7 o'clock on Saturdays, and 1 o'clock on Sundays. And all I can picture is about 9:15, 9:30 at night, I'm laying on the couch watching TV, and my dad walks in from work, just dead dog tired, just tired. But it kind of seeped in. You got to work hard. So that was one message. And then I remember the other memory is we were so I'm working at the store doing whatever, delivering, I don't even know. And he has this meeting about a half an hour before the store opens. And some customer wrote a letter to him. This is pre-internet. So I'm dating the hell out of myself. Please don't judge me. I know digital marketing really, really well. Don't pull the age thing. um, and a complaint, and a very well-formed, lengthy complaint. And he just basically not really ripped everybody to shreds, but it was, this is not us. We live and die by what our customers think of us. They can go anywhere to get a prescription. They can go anywhere to do the things that we do. We need them to come here. We can't have this. And it was so solemn. And I went, and I knew personally, that was the first thing you think of. Like, did I do that? Did I do that? And I knew it wasn't, but I was just watching the room, watching him. And I went, and at the time, I can't say I took any conscious lesson, but the collective, of them just seep in. And he was all about, and there were like chain pharmacies as well. So you could compare independent to chain.
Yeah.
You can't today, but you could then. And you could just tell, like, he knew everybody's name and they knew him. The same people would come in. I guess it just kind of seeped in over time.
Mm. And that's where, this fits really good, turning a little bit the topic on the power of trust, right? Because people come to your pharmacy, or they came to the pharmacy for your family business because they trust you guys as a business
Mhm.
owner, right? And the same thing with you and your business and how you help with your marketing
Yeah.
specifically, right? So
Yeah, trust hasn't gone away just because the world is more connected and faster and shorter attention spans. The human need for trust is, I'm going to say, as prevalent and as important as ever. I mean, now, I go to Walgreens to get prescriptions filled today. You know what I've learned to trust? When I get the email saying it's ready, nothing else. So I call to get a refill and they say it'll be ready tomorrow on the automated system. And I've learned that's not true. And I've learned that by going when they say, oh, it'll be ready, and it's not ready. And nobody there can explain anything because they're all cogs in the very large machine.
right.
And they don't have any patience for questions like, but it said it'd be ready. And as I'm saying this, I know it's wasted time because they don't know. But trust is trust is as important as just how we find trust signals are different today
And
than
it takes
in
time to
some
build.
ways.
It really takes time to build that trust for any
Yep.
business, right? And that's
Yeah.
why we gotta protect it.
I don't think it goes any faster than it used to. Just because there's more information doesn't make trust building. I don't know why it would. Maybe that's wrong, but it just seems logical to say, however long it takes for you and I to build trust with each other
Mm.
10 years ago is about as long as it ought to take today. Maybe it's a little longer because there's more information we have about each other. We have to sift through all that. Do I trust that information? Do I not? I don't think it's any easier.
Or the
But
relationships of the people that we have in common that helps with the trust as well, right?
yes, yes.
Referrals.
Who says nice things about you? Who? Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all the same signals.
And here we're gonna now talk specifically on online reviews because
Yeah.
this is exactly a topic that it's so important. I know you provide those services for your
Mhm,
business, for
mhm,
um, in your agency, and
mhm.
it's such a powerful tool, that marketing tool that businesses should have today. And it's just not just healthcare, right? It's every
It's
business.
anybody. It's really, the only people who shouldn't really are you just started your business or your practice and you don't have any customers or patients yet. Okay.
Yeah.
You're going to retire in 6 months and truly close the doors. Or you're going to shut down shortly and you're not selling it to anybody. You're truly closing the doors, turning off the lights and walking away. Or there's a few um, industries whose ethical guidelines do not allow you to, at least to ask for reviews. You can still receive them, but you can't ask for them for one reason or like financial services. The marketing rules about what you can and can't do are very, in good spirit, really restrictive. And asking for reviews is considered, the interpretation is crossing the line. But
Mhm.
other than that, I mean, if you can, you should. They're the thing that everybody loves to hate, but everybody acknowledges their importance. Is the plain old, good old, simple
And just look at
online
how
review.
you act in your life when you go to a restaurant, or you always look at reviews or things, it's like that's the trust that you
It's
get.
everything.
Yeah,
If they are there, they will be viewed. They
right.
will, and they will be given important. The what I think is the saddest statistic I've seen in my all of my marketing, corporate, everything, Marketvisory Group, is this: about as many people trust reviews they read online as they trust what their own friends and family tell them to do. Isn't
Mm.
that sad?
Yeah.
Reviews online are a bunch of strangers to you. They are. And you
Mm.
trust a collection of strangers as much as your own friends and family. It's sad, but it's sadly believable.
Yeah.
It's just it's
It's
the
a
state of
necessary
play
evil that you
today.
have to have.
Really, bunch of strangers. These could be, you know, liars, felons, cheats. They could be horrible, horrible people. But if they gave, Dr. So and so a 5 star, oh my God, that's really good. You don't know. Nobody tracks down the identity of any of these reviewers, but we just collectively trust them.
Yeah. So what do you think are the biggest mistakes that entrepreneurs or business owners make when they're trying to get more reviews? Like,
There's two. One is not asking every customer, let's use the generic term customer, not asking every customer who could give you a review to give you a review. It's kind of a volume game because for every 10 you ask, you're not going to get 10. It's just the way it is. Um, that's the first big one. There's a few. The second big one, and this one I didn't expect to discover, but it makes a ton of sense. You have to ask the same person more than one time. People are
follow up.
busy. People follow up, just like in the rest of our lives. You ask somebody to give you a review. Yeah, absolutely. I'll do it immediately. And the moment they walk out the door, that is an ancient, distant memory gone. You've got to, people need reminders. With our clients, easily 80% of the reviews they get come on that second ask or the third ask, never the first. A small minority. People need reminders. We all need reminders. And even then, for every 10 who get the reminders, 10 don't give a review, but more do than if they didn't get the reminders.
So how can small businesses then can have this repeatable system for getting
You could do it
not
manually.
just
It's just,
you, but
yeah.
also great reviews without sounding pushy or kind of like,
Well, you know what? It's a very short, polite email or text, probably text. People are a little more responsive on text than emails. Um, thank you so much for doing business with us. Would you please give us a review? It's as simple as that. And then if they don't give you a review in say 3, 4 days, send them a reminder. This can all be done manually. You just got to track and send. And then there are so many systems out there. Like there's a particular review system that we use. It's custom built to do this. So we subscribe and then we kind of implement it with our clients. It's got all this automation built in, and at least the third part, the third important thing to do, which is no friction. Don't expect people to know where to click, what to go, what to do. If you're gonna ask them for a review, give them a link that sends them to exactly where they need to go. And you can do that. Google offers that. Facebook offers it. Lots of places that accept reviews, like Avo for attorneys, and so on and so on and so on for others. Just make it as easy as possible. I mean, all of this sounds kind of intuitive when you say it. Ask everybody, send reminders, make it super easy. And it's either time or money. So if you're going to do this on your own, just track it, just like you track anything else. Have a little spreadsheet. On this day, I asked these 10 people. How many? You can know if they're going to give you a review because you'll see it. And if they didn't give you a review in 3 days, send the follow-up. Pre-write all of these. Just copy, paste, send. Copy, paste, send. If your budget's really tight, but there are a lot of services out there that a lot of really that that are tailor-made to help you get more reviews, because all these services companies know how useful these are. And you'll pay them some money and there's some setup, but then to varying degrees there's automation. It does all this for you. And then
Yeah, I know nowadays it's not as expensive. Like it's so affordable to have those.
which is in the eye of the beholder. I mean, I got to tell you, the one I don't really get this question often, but occasionally I'll get asked. And really, the question is, how many new reviews do I need to get in order to get a new customer or client or whatever? And the answer is, there's no way to know that. We don't know what people do. All I can tell you is that when people read reviews, people want to read reviews about you. They want to know what other people say about you. And that's as old as time. There's nothing new about that. This is just the way to do it today, is that you, among other ways, is that you get reviews. And just like I said before, half the people who read them are going to trust them as much as they trust anybody else who tells them what to do, because that's the way people think. And if you have some reviews, it's not an arms race. You don't need thousands. You don't need more than your competition. You just need a healthy number, which is vague, but it's honest. And make sure you've got some new reviews. Make sure that your newest review is not a year old. A glowing review from yesterday is really, really good. That same glowing review that's a year old is not as good. People they want to see new stuff. So just keep asking, send reminders. And if your customers are nice enough people, then you'll get enough reviews. And over time, the gross number will take care of itself. The thing is, you have to ask. People who are angry at you will take time out of their day to rip you a new one online. But people who are happy with you never, ever think to do so. So you just got to ask them and then prod them a little bit. It doesn't have to be complicated. It just needs to be a simple system. Ask again, and keep track. And somebody who you asked once and then they never gave you a review, and it's 3-4 months later, you could try again. Why not?
Do
Maybe
you
they'll give you one this
guide
time.
your customers if they get a negative review, like publicly, like how to handle that, and or how
So yeah, I mean, so we are in the world of healthcare, so HIPAA is a big deal. I can find, what I tell clients is, talk to your healthcare attorney, because I can't get healthcare attorneys to agree on whether you can reply. Those who say you can reply say, so the thing is, you cannot disclose that there's a doctor-patient relationship. The patient can, but you cannot. So if you get a good or bad review, say you get a great review and you want to reply, you cannot say something like, we're so happy you're a patient here. You can't say it. You could say, hey, thanks very much. That didn't disclose anything. So if you get a negative review, say something short and simple, like, we'd like to understand your comments further. Please contact us at phone number and ask for a person. Don't say, we're really sorry you had a bad experience here. We love it. Don't do it because you've just disclosed it. And you've just frankly broken the law. So don't do that. There are other healthcare attorneys that say, you can't reply. Simply replying, no matter what you say, discloses that relationship. That just sounds kind of illogical. But I'm not an attorney. And I say, consult your healthcare attorney. Here's what I hear. So yes. Replying generally, though, if you're not in health, replying is a good thing. It sort of personalizes things. People want to see it.
Want to reply,
Yeah. thanks very much. It sort of adds a third dimension to
I mean, that could be a client like who come back and buy more things from you. So you want to have that relationship, keep building
why
that.
not? You know, it
It's
takes
nurturing.
it takes, in fact, there's some review systems that are custom built for this that have some AI built in that will just reply for you.
Yeah.
And you can set parameters and it could just do it automatically. That's up for you. I don't know. I think it's worth taking a
Yeah.
few minutes out of your day just to say thank you. Just I mean, how long can that take? But and then it's from you. It's from you. So yeah.
But also reviews can help with search engines, right? To rank and
Yes,
also for
it's
customer
a
perception, right?
yeah. I mean, Google's algorithm and what's important is in my knowledge, the best kept corporate secret today. I mean, that and Coke's formula, nobody really knows what's in it. But it is known and true that for local businesses, medical, healthcare, whatever, otherwise, reviews are one of the very many factors that Google looks at when deciding who am I going to rank in what order, top to bottom, in a search result, depending on, OBGYNs near me. Who am I going to rank top to bottom? I know who they are, but I have to pick an order. And reviews are not the only, but one of the factors that Google, Bing, anybody looks at to say, who should I put top to bottom? So yes, it's true.
That's good. Well, I know we're getting close to the end, but I really want to talk about kind of like your journey as a business owner and kind of learning. Everyone has a learning curve when you launch your own business, when you're running your business, in your case, your agency. So, what are the biggest learnings that you had that you maybe want to share with it? And this is not for healthcare only, but could help us as other business owners that maybe you're like, I wish I knew this like many years ago when I started my business. And it could be so many things because you learn so much through your journey. But is there something that
Yeah.
comes to mind?
Um, maybe like, we all try various ways to grow, to go get more clients. And obviously some work better than others. A few years ago, and every year I was trying something on top of the stuff I was always doing. And the stuff that I was always doing that was working was a lot of word of mouth, networking, building up a good sort of, referral base where I could give to them and they could give to me. And that was always kind of working its way and getting better. And I would try these other one-off things. And I was always kind of skeptical, but I thought, you read so much about them and all these other people are doing them. And I knew I didn't know most of the story, but whatever. And then one day it hit, and I mean, a couple of things hit me. One was um, I would, well, on this thought, it is a few years ago, I just decided enough of that. Because you compare the results of the one new thing you try and the other thing, that you kept doing. And I just said, keep doing do what works, but better. Who am I to say that I am world class and cannot improve on building, this sort of word of mouth referral network? So I stopped all the other stuff, even thinking about all the other stuff. I mean, I still look at stuff, but it's a very high bar for me because I've had these experiences. And I said, just keep getting better, get novel and innovative about what you're already doing. And that led to starting a podcast. That led to starting various networking groups and joining more and, thinking about more ways I can, I can't always give a client referral to somebody, but there's other value I can give. Come be on the podcast or whatever it is. Just do what's working and do it better. So that was one. The other one is that if you start a business, you will very quickly hear you need to set annual goals and quarterly goals and think about the quarter and all this stuff and break down your growth target into quarters. And there's a lot of good structure in that. But what I found as a small business person, the way I would say it is at the end of the quarter, so at the beginning of the quarter, I'd say I would start 6 things. And at the end of the quarter, I would finish none of them. And I would get really, really frustrated by that because it's a frustrating feeling. I thought all 6 of these things were important enough to spend time on, and then they wouldn't get done. And one day I just thought, you know what, enough. Pick one of those 6, pick the most important one you can imagine, and keep doing it until it's done.
That's the
And then
power
do
of
the
focus.
next one. maybe two. I don't know. You also, as the more time you spend in your own business, you get a better insight onto how much time you can really allocate to different buckets of things. So you
Absolutely.
don't really know that. Like, you just, I don't know how to make that learning go faster. But I just said, all right, enough of start six, finish nothing, and instead start one, maybe two, and finish them. And so I felt better. And then the other thing was that I noticed that those other four or five things that never got started didn't matter, because I guess I did a pretty decent job of picking the most useful of the ones to spend time on. And so I guess that's the other message. It doesn't necessarily take as many things you think you need to do to achieve your goal. Spend a few extra minutes to pick what's of this list of things I could do. What are, given the time and resources we have, which of these, what's the fewest number of these that I think we need to do to achieve the goal, and just do those. And then at the end of it, look back, did not doing those other things hurt us at all? And the
Yeah.
likely answer is no.
The thing is like having so focus for sure in a couple things, and then you know having the clarity. It's important, right? Because the clarity on what's the right strategy, and from those six things, I need to pick two, and then what are the top two that I should be like putting my attention, right?
Yeah. And you know what? All six are probably good. So it's,
Right.
in a way, there's not a bad choice to make. Don't overthink it. Just
Mm.
just pick one and go, or
And then what
two
keeps
and
you
go.
what keeps you motivated for you to keep going, to keep serving, your clients year after year? What's your why?
Helping them stay private.
I
It
love it.
really comes back, helping private practices stay private. And it took me 5 years to come to that wording. It just sort of hit me one day because, marketing agencies, the evolution is what's the why to help you grow, to make life, you focus on treating patients and I'll take over. We all say that and it's all true, but you end up sounding like, to me, at least every other outsource provider of anything. It's all very true, but it's all very repetitive. And it's more of to me, it wasn't like a grab your heartstrings kind of why, and that's it's not easy to find, and I can't say I was looking for it 24/7, but it just kind of hit me one day, helping private practices stay private. And that's what they all want. I mean, that's what most of them want, and I want to help them stay there. And I say we do that by contributing really effective affordable marketing. We've got this really great network of other providers, so if you have a question, how who do you use for credentialing? I don't know, but I know a bunch of people who do. Let me go ask them and see if any of them can, and so on and so on. And it's nice to be a resource to something that I think is really important.
Yeah, I mean, I can feel the passion there, and it's good. And it's normal that it takes 5 years because that's kind of like the timeline that I can see in businesses. That after the fifth year is where the clarity comes in so many ways, and then
Yeah,
the business really starts really moving forward in the right.
yeah. And the moment I said it, I was like, well, there it is. I mean, it's catchy. Like it's even phrased
Yeah,
well. I didn't
yeah,
expect that. It's just it's um so yeah. So that's the mission.
that's awesome. Well, Carl, where can people find you? What's the best way to reach out to you?
So yeah, so our website, it's a mouthful, people. Sorry. If I could rename the company. That's another thing, I suppose. If I could start over, I'd rename it to something simpler. But market, like the word market, Market, Visory, V as in Victor, ISORY group.com. That's our website. There's a contact page. That's the best because um, there's a way to schedule just like a 15-minute call right then and there. And we'll chat, figure out what's on your mind, see if we're a fit, if we can help. If we're not, or will tell you, we're not going to fake it and take your money. And I'm just very honest with people about if we think we can help as soon as possible. Otherwise, we all just lost time. So yeah.
And then to be clear, so you do support healthcare businesses, but you can still do review services for other businesses too, right?
Correct. For reviews, it's the one service that will work with anybody on. So our main private practices, right? So medical, dental, whatever, anybody who provides care to their patients and owns their practice. Yes, we want to help, but carve out reviews as that one service and we've got a handful of clients that are not in healthcare we're helping get reviews. And the reason I do that is because again, with a small business, I mean, if you cannot argue, you cannot like them, but you can't argue with their relevance. And so we just really want to help small businesses. Sometimes it's all they need, and we've got more than a handful of clients that's all, it's the only service that they're getting from us. It's just helping you get more reviews. Cool, let's go.
That's great. Well, thank you, Carl, so much for all the information, the insights, all the power,
Thank
the
you.
passion that you have for how you help your clients. It's really nice to see that through this interview. I
These are
could see
good.
the
I
passion.
appreciate good questions. It's normally a lot of business type questions, but these are good. I appreciate it.
I'm a mindset coach, so I really like to go deep on different areas, not just the business side. So yes, I like to kind of explore more about you as a person who's behind the business, right? So that people know
Appreciate
who
it.
they're working with.
Yes, thank you.
Well, thanks, Carl. For the audience, I will put all the details for Carl's in the show notes. And if you like this episode, please share with someone who might need Carl's services. And I'm happy to have Carl, who knows, another time to talk about other services because he
I
has
would love it.
a lot of
Yep.
services that can help you guys as business owners. So thank you, Carl, again.
Thank you.
All right. Take care.